Um, so James, many of our listeners are really ambitious dental hygienists and entrepreneurs. They typically go to RDH under one roof.
Mm.
So can you share some business strategies or networking tips that have been really essential and helpful for your journey as a founder in the dental industry?
Well, I'll give you maybe just a couple.
Okay.
I could probably do many hours talking about that, but just here's what I would consider my nuggets. One is that you have to, especially if you're starting out on a new venture, you have to abandon this failure mentality. You just have to think iterations and success and progress. So everybody that you see that's successful, that you're like, wow, what a polished thing, and they really have their stuff, they did not start off that way. But you just often don't see it, you don't hear about it, but everybody struggles in the beginning. And if you get too down on yourself and say, oh, this will never work, but just put that mentality aside and say, this is the first time doing it. And I have that myself. I just think the first time I'm doing anything, it's a mess. It's just a disaster. And I just accept that and I say, well, this is my learning opportunity from the first time of doing this. And then the second time is better. And then I just took that patience to keep iterating on it. And as long as you care enough about what you're trying to accomplish and that goal you're trying to pursue, then it dusts you off. It gets you stood back up, because there's a funny thing about TempStars that, especially early on, people say, oh, TempStars, I wish I had that idea. And my response genuinely is, if you knew how much work this was, you would thank God you didn't have this idea. Because it is hard, but I love it. And you'll get punched in the stomach 20 times. But if you're pursuing something that you care enough about, you just get up and you're like, okay, let's keep going, kind of thing. But so I think that caring about that thing to pursue and seeing it in that mindset is really helpful.